Oh, we got a little bit of lag there, but wait, there's more. Here's the intro, y'all.
Busta Rhymes, 2000. We got the fire now. Come on. Hey, come on. Hey, rap the itch for more, unless you best believe. Busta Rhymes more flavor than all the rest. Before the mess, hardcoreness, before the stress. Got to get this flawless flow above my chest. Who's responsible for the impossible flow? Anything in the world that ain't toppable. So I make you anticipate great type shit. Real live niggas appreciate to the utmost. I pack keep the jack close.
Hey, all right, everybody. Welcome. This is Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. Get my eyebrow straight, you know what I'm saying? The beard right. This is episode 170. It's your boys, the Harlem Heat. You know what I'm saying? KG is Big Booker T. I am Big Stevie Ray. That's what we're doing tonight. You know, we usually be on our KO with Sammy, but tonight we on our Harlem Heat. You know what I'm saying? Five time. Throw it all up in the air. Righty, KG, hold on one second, brother. Let me get your intro ready, and we're gonna go ahead and do our intros, and we're gonna get this thing rolling. You ready?
Yeah.
All righty, let's do this.
It's the ginger whiskey assassin, the other KG. Hashtag y'all gotta chill.
All right, KG, one time for the one time. Talk to the people.
I'm not sure how I feel about WrestleMania going back to Vegas because, like, what if Montez Ford is just on one and he pulls an all-nighter on the Vegas Strip, and he's like, the Street Profits are up and we want the Coke.
That'd be kind of a pipe bomb, wouldn't it? Oh man, Montez do be having a lot of energy though, like. Got to do the Rob De Niro face to that one, man.
Casino.
Yes, sir. All right, let me hit my intro right quick.
It's Big Oos, Old Man Logan, acknowledging.
All right, people. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. Thank you all that tune in to any of the podcasts that are produced at the NMG Podcast Network. We had Boulevard Ave Radio on Monday. We had Tuesday to rest. Then, boom, we back here Wednesday. The party starts at 8 p.m. every Wednesday for Hot Take Wrestling. It is myself and KG. Later on tonight, it is supposed to be the wise man, Phil Myers Sr., and King of the Black Robe himself, Will Jameson, bringing a new episode of Hot Take After Dark. And, yeah, man, I just want to thank y'all for always tuning in, always supporting, always, you know what I'm saying, coming and checking your boys out. You know, some faces aren't here no more. Some faces are gone doing their own thing. But, you know, the core of Voltron remains here, okay? So,
yeah, be careful with that court talk. That was one of the worst stables in the last, 15 years.
The car. They had my man trying his best. To, you know what I'm saying, get the core off. But it just wasn't working. All right, so, okay, hold on. Let me see this. We got some comments already. Rusty Buckets. All right, that's an interesting name. Shout out to Rusty Buckets. What y'all on? And his other question is, what is this channel? All right, Rusty Bucket. So I'll let you know this channel. I kind of just did that. But this channel is the NMG Podcast Network, okay? Where you can find any and every kind of content as far as entertainment goes, as far as sports entertainment, sports. We've had love and relationship type podcasts. We've had After Dark podcasts. They are all still, you know, in playlists and can be seen on this channel. So you just go through that smorgasbord of shows, man, and just enjoy yourself, brother. It is a lot to check out. So please indulge and make sure you smash the subscribe button, okay? Because we need that. We need that energy. We need that support. We're going to continue to make content for y'all, and hopefully y'all enjoy it, and y'all tell more people, and more people come check us out. More people check us out. More people check us out. Okay? Okay? Hope I got that cleared out for you, Rusty Buckets. Salute, salute. Kelly Patterson, 9985. Hey, we good, Kelly. How are you, man? About to get into our episode, this new episode of Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. All right. Thanks for checking in, Kelly. So, what we're gonna do this episode, y'all? We're gonna do our weekly recap with KG, of course. He's also gonna let you guys know the wrestlers of the week. We're going to also talk about Royal Rumble that just took place. We're gonna talk about the men's winner and women's winner, as well as the career killer who seems to be on a warpath right now, getting rid of, our seasoned veteran professional wrestlers left and right. And we're going to just, probably end out the episode giving our praises to the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, who has seemingly ended his in-ring career with the WWE happening, and that took place on Saturday at the Royal Rumble, losing his match against Gunther. All right? So, KG, we're going to get that started in 1 second. Rusty Buckets got another question. Rusty, the channel is not a wrestling channel. This show is a wrestling show. So the channel has all kind of different type of shows.
Smorgasbord.
Literally, smorgasbord. So I implore you, if you're going to stick around, appreciate you. But check it out. We got all kind of shows on the channel, brother. All kind of shows. All right. And Kelly says, oh. All right, so KG, you ready to jump into this weekly recap, my friend?
Yeah. Yep, sir.
All righty. That's right. Let me get it queued up, and we can get it going. Right. As soon as I can find the graphic, that would be nice. Here we go.
And now, your week in review.
Floor is yours, KG.
So this return starter kit for WWE Superstars is kind of killing me. It's all black stuff, man. If I would have known any better, I would say Retribution is returned. But no, all jokes aside, Braun Breaker never got a shot in the Rumble, which is kind of crazy. I definitely thought he's going to finish in the Final Four. I guess you just got to be on your toes and P's and Q's, as they say, to keep an eye out to watch the Rumble, and that's the reason why everything's not going to come out as a formula that we expect it to come out as. I definitely saw Oba had his run that we thought he would have. He lasted the second longest in the Rumble behind Javon Evans, so big shout out to NXT. I believe so. Ruka lasted over 40-some minutes in the Women's Royal Rumble. Somebody compared it. They were like, man, so you telling me we got Jeff Hardy, Swanton combined into Randy Orton's RKO? I'm like, no, that has to be like the maneuver, like the wrestling maneuver of the year. That Snow Snatcher, like, it's just insane to see her pull that off.
Yeah.
With the precision she pulls it out too. Granted, you gotta be in place for that, but it's still an amazing move to watch, honestly. Big shout out to Charlotte. I picked her up for the Women's Wrestler of the Week. She lasted about an hour in the Rumble before she was eliminated. At first, I thought they were gonna pull that trigger. Actually would have been more okay with that. I'm not sure how I feel about Liv winning, man. Not that she hasn't worked her ass off to get to the level that she's at over the last few years. It's just one of those things where we can still get Charlotte and Jade, but if Bianca's not coming back, so we had her winning, both of us. She wasn't even in the Rumble. I would think, and they still could get to Charlotte and Jade. It's one of those things too. You really want Charlotte being a 3-time winner? She just won last year. But so it's not the end of the world that we not necessarily get there. And if Stephanie's going to go into Mania with the championship, I suppose there really is nobody else on Raw for her on the heel side outside of a Becky. But I think the plan for her is to go up against AJ Lee. So that kind of made sense why we didn't have, or why we had Liv winning that match, because of the fact that last night I think Stephanie's going to carry that championship into WrestleMania. I thought her and Raquel had actually a pretty damn good street fight. They were giving more time than I thought they were going to give them, because it seems like at least on the women's side, it seems like when they do the no DQ matches, get a couple spots in, maybe 10 minutes. I think they went a good 15 to 20 minutes on Raw, so go back and get a chance to watch that for sure. I think we both had a feeling Sammy wasn't going to Sammy wasn't going to win. It's eventually, I think him and LA Knight will be world champions in WWE. I just had a feeling that they weren't going to take the title off Drew that soon because of the fact that he's built up enough equity with the company throughout the pandemic, and ever since then is one of their go-to guys. And he never had that chance, as we discussed before, of holding a world championship for a decent amount of time in front of the crowd. So
Right.
kind of figured that wasn't going to happen yet. I do think the fact that he eliminated Cody from the Rumble, I do think they're setting up that triple threat with him and Jacob Fatu and Cody at WrestleMania 42. Drew's over here catching strays on Monday Night Raw. It reminded me of J. Cole catching strays between Kendrick and Drake. Like, Drew just minding his business. His name just getting thrown all the way around up in this promo between Punk and Roman. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I just do think it was some takeaways for that for me. Roman's grown on me. Obviously, I'm a CM Punk mark. But I didn't think it was hilarious. He said Drew had you crying over a bracelet last year. I'm like, bro, didn't you crash out over a necklace or Ula Follow? And you didn't even have technically a family to be the head of at the time. Like, you're the imaginary head of a. I mean, who dubbed you Polynesian royalty? Your own family? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there's a whole tribe of like. I mean, I don't know. I just thought there was some good points. That was like probably the most passionate, natural promo. But I did see from Roman, but I did see something that was like when CM Punk like just has a fake palm. We tired of hearing these kids cry about some shit that happened 10 years ago. Because at the end of the day, guess what? I see where Roman's coming from. He went on the podcast. They were trying to blur the lines and all that, but I'm not, capping for Punk or anything like that. But at the same time, I do feel like they were ready to, they were ready to. The fans are going to basically cheer who they want to cheer. And I say that because how fast the fans turn on Cena. So I don't think Punk going on a podcast affected that. I think the fans didn't see any development at the time for Roman, and they just knew that he was going to be penciled in as the next guy. And I think that's kind of why they rejected him. On top of the fact that Daniel Bryan's run got cut short, wasn't Roman's fault, but he had the title for about a month or two before he had to drop it. And then by the time Roman came back, guys like Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose had gotten over. And they basically just, in a sense, buried them to elevate Roman. He's like, how does Dolph Ziggler go from being a sole survivor at Survivor Series, closing the show, even on Cena's team at that? He's a sole survivor. John Cena was eliminated. And then the guy just goes into obscurity a month or two later to make room for Roman. I think it was a combination of those things why the fans rejected him. Sure, the Punk thing played a part in it, but it's like, they both made some great points too, though, because I think Triple H would have still wanted to bring Punk back, but I'm sure he did talk to some of the top tier talents, for sure, Roman. But with that being said, I think it would have been bad for business. And I always say what's best for business if they didn't, if they didn't do that. So bring Punk back from the standpoint that he knew it was probably his last chance to not screw this up, but at the same time, I think things like that had to come full circle. But I do enjoy, like I said, that natural venom that was coming out of Roman. Like I said, it felt natural for the first time in a while, seeing something like that where we know that he's put the time in to develop his character, and everything's come full circle almost 10 years later. He was booed out of Philly when he won the Rumble, and 10 years later, give or take, now that they acknowledge him as the OTC. So. I had Obo as the men's wrestler of the week. Like I said, he was the second longest time in the Rumble, tied for the most eliminations, I think, with Roman. And then, big shout out to AJ Styles. He didn't tap out, but it was funny that meme was going around before that feud even started. I think they had Gunther choking him out. So I'm like,
I think the one I saw was like AJ's body, obviously, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing his head I'm seeing his body.
Yeah, they had seen his face instead of AJ's face. Yeah, with the smirk. Yeah, that was funny.
So, there's speculation who's next, no pun intended. But
So I do got some scenarios I'm gonna throw at you about who could potentially be next, because obviously we're on the road to WrestleMania now. That started at the end of the Royal Rumble from on Saturday. So I want to ask you this first before we get to those questions. In terms of that promo between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, right? Would you say CM Punk's lost a step in terms of promo, or Roman's just improved that vastly and has gotten that better in that span of 10 years, from when he did the famous podcast? He was on, what's my man name? He was on Cole Cabana's podcast at the time. So would you say it's Roman has just, risen to the occasion, so to speak, or was it Punk maybe taking a, step back or two, given, the time he's had away from it and age, because, we all Father Time finds us all, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day.
yeah.
Which would you say it was?
Well, as you said in the wristband you gave me before, a marathon, not a race. I think it's one of those things where Punk is, I don't think he's taking a step back. I think he made some great points because if he didn't have to throw out the statistics, but for example, in 434 days as champion, right? He said he laid the groundwork for Roman, and Roman copied him in a sense. I think that's kind of a valid point with the whole Paul Heyman thing, because in 434 days, Punk had about 150 title defenses. I think Roman had, in 1,300 days, I think he had like
59,
50, yeah, something like some, and a lot of those were repeats because like he's over here feuding with Jey Uso in 2020 and 2023. He feuded with KO in 2021 and then again in 2023, and a lot of his stuff just started getting repetitive. They were running out of opponents, so that's another thing. He got stale a lot of his run. Arguably, they're not to say he wasn't doing great work during that time, because that first feud with Jey had to happen to build up to the Usos turning heel and falling in line. I think it's one of those things where you saw something similar with Drew McIntyre. I think when Punk first got back, Drew was kind of getting him a little bit, but then eventually he just took the gloves off in a sense. So I think one of those things you kind of got to build up to it. Like one of the funny things he said about Drew, like I never had to put another man's name on my shirt to sell merchandise. once the gloves came off, so I think they're building towards it. But I do think I would give Roman the edge just because of the end of it. But once again, it's one of those things where some of it was just kind of capped though. Like, I mean, no one's saying Roman didn't buzz his ass to get to the level he's at, but at the same time, like I said, like I said, it was 10 years ago, dude. Like, you think that ruined the fans' perception of you? Nah. I mean,
but you know what?
Some idiots, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a majority, no.
Him bringing that back. Because I forgot, and let me see if you remember this. You remember when WWE had that little show they did where they were on Fox when they moved to Fox for a second, and I want to say that was coming on either Thursday or Friday night or whatever, and Punk was a part of that, and Roman did an interview. I want to say it may have been Pat McAfee or somebody. I don't know if it was in relation to that per se, but I remember him doing an interview, and this may have been the WrestleMania leading up to Edge and Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns, right? And CM Punk had got mentioned because I think this was around the time CM Punk returned to wrestling and went to AEW, and Roman kind of, did a pipe bomb his own in that interview where he was just kind of like, well, if he ever thought about coming back here, he got to see me, basically. And this was like at the start of his whole Tribal Chief run. Like he had just came back, turned heel, defeated Goldberg and Braun Strowman, or not Braun Strowman, The Fiend for the title. And he just kind of, did a hot take right there on the interview in relation to CM Punk returning to wrestling. So fast forward to Monday, and we getting this intense, promo. I'm like, how much of this is reality and how much of this is truly just, promo? I'm like, they blurred the lines perfectly. Like, I don't think Roman and Punk have any bad blood between them, but the way they pulled that off on Monday, man, chef's kiss for real.
No, absolutely. Like I said, I don't want to seem like I'm not giving Romo his flowers. I just think some of it, and even on Punk's perspective, is just like trying to think to like not nitpick Roman's promo, because there's some parts that Punk said as well that it's like he has to also understand that, like, too, that wasn't necessarily Roman's call though to be paired
Right.
with Heyman. Because I
Right.
think I think the pandemic didn't happen, they were still gonna try to push Roman as a babyface because Goldberg took the championship off the Fiend, and that was supposed to be Goldberg versus Roman before the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, and they just slid Braun Strowman in that position because
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania 36 was supposed to be in Roman's backyard, so to speak, in Tampa. Um, so I don't think they were going to pull that heel turn there because it would have came off as Roman getting cheered like way too loudly because people were tired of Goldberg.
Should we consider that championship reign by Goldberg the bubble championship? Like how they said the Lakers had the bubble championship
Now that'd be Braun
during
though, because
COVID.
that'd be Braun Strowman because Goldberg won it in front of fans.
So
They were
Brown
they were Yeah, Braun would be the bubble champion. Unfortunately, well, with Braun too, it's one of those things where, as somebody that's 6'8", 350+ pounds, being pushed as a babyface, he kind of got screwed
Mhm.
because he didn't really have a lot of talent on SmackDown to feud with that were believable. Like if
Right.
because at the time Drew was the face of the company, so you couldn't have him feud with Drew.
Mhm.
Bobby Lashley was on Raw. Just guys that could actually have good matches and programs with them too. I'm not saying you only compare him with bigger guys, but as the baby face, you kind of had to do something.
Right. You got to
Like,
give him a formidable opponent, and
yeah,
there is the conundrum with having, like you said, it's a guy that of that size and stature, being the baby face. Like, you should probably always kind of keep them close to the tweener role, not just like a
yeah,
full on white meat baby face that Stone Cold would call him. You know what I mean?
right, exactly. And then,
We got a quick question here. I'm pretty sure we answered this before, but he's a new viewer, obviously. So Rusty Buckets, we're gonna give you answer your question right quick. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time? Mine personally is Bret Hart. KG, who's you say your favorite wrestler?
go more modern. I'd probably say CM Punk.
CM Punk. Okay,
Yeah,
and then current day Roman's my favorite. So there you go. KG will tell you, he'll vouch for me. Like, I've been a Roman fan since it wasn't cool to be a Roman fan. All of y'all that's doing this now, y'all just welcome to the bandwagon. No, I was there when the boos were going on. Yeah. So yeah, let's see. So question time as far as the career killer path that Gunther seems to be on right now. He hasn't got back to the championship yet. Obviously, they're doing this career killer thing to kind of keep him active, keep him fresh, keep him in storylines that are relative to what's going on in professional wrestling right now. We saw him beat Goldberg Saturday Night Main Event. We saw him beat John Cena Saturday Night Main Event. Now he adds AJ Styles to the list this past Saturday at Royal Rumble. So who do you think, just kind of spitballing, and I'll queue up heated roundtable here. It's kind of like a Uber heated roundtable, not a full-on one. But who do you think can be the next potential victims, I guess we'll say, because we got some guys that are apparently supposed to be retiring in this year as well. I think Shinsuke is supposed to be retiring, if I'm not mistaken. I think he made that announcement late last year. And I think you have Rey Mysterio too, who he hasn't necessarily said anything lately about retiring. But as far as veterans, I don't think Randy Orton's retiring anytime soon. So I wouldn't put him in that basket just yet. But those two, who do you think would be more likely to be the next opponent for Gunther? And I'm guessing this would be at maybe WrestleMania, unless they throw somebody at him at Elimination Chamber.
Hey, you said I'm
And
being a dead.
before you answer, let me just cue the thing up right quick. Just get that done.
Ooh, the round table's getting heated. Heated round table.
All right, sir. Continue.
I hate to keep sounding like I'm beating a dead horse, but assuming this guy is signed with 30, it'll probably be Chris Jericho. If not Jericho, then Yeah, I'm trying to think who's next on that list because they don't have to because with WrestleMania you can have some crossover appeal. You don't have to have guys that are beholden to the same show.
Yeah.
So there's that. With that being said, so I look down the card because you also want to have a big enough name too at WrestleMania. You don't want one of those things that they're really building them up to do this whole angle about being a career killer.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think, or somebody that might be semi-retired right now, type thing. Sheamus is an option. I mean, we've seen that before, but
He
I
is
don't
an
know.
option. Absolutely.
But I don't know if
Absolutely.
he's. But I've been hearing for years that his neck was giving him so many problems. He was thinking about hanging it up. But he's still hanging around. I heard about that. I heard that about 4 or 5 years ago. So you got to hold a lot of stuff with a grain of salt when you hear those type of reports about injuries and things of that nature.
Mhm.
Orton might be the next one. I mean, I don't think, like you said, to your point, he said anything, and I think it'll be too huge of a hit for them if Orton just goes, into the sunset without notice. Um, is anybody else? Well,
I,
he declined his Hall of Fame induction. You got Batista because he
what
said
I think he said his match with Triple H was his retirement match they had at what was
okay,
that?
WrestleMania 35.
35. Yeah, he said that was the match he wanted to end his career with. So he got that. So he's technically retired. He
Okay,
hasn't been back since either. So yeah, I would say yeah, that was the end of his career.
okay. Well, yeah, there's not too many other people I can think of that are. I said maybe Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
You could go Nakamura if this is it.
Mm-hmm.
He has reason to go after him with the history he has with AJ Styles and the match he just had um, on Saturday night's main event.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I forgot to mention, Ava Johnson departure. She did not renew her contract. I know we were on a heated roundtable, but I forgot that in my recap.
Actually,
So
we can definitely get to talk about
yeah, I
that
forgot
too.
about that.
And that's why I wanted to queue up the heated roundtable because depending on what side you land on with the hearsay regarding that departure, it can totally get heated. I don't see it getting heated between us, but just in saying the stance she took apparently for the reasoning why she didn't re-sign the contract. But we'll get to that in a second.
Well, my thing is they all got to understand what side their bosses stand on. They have to understand that when they sign the contract. This is not like I understand they're a publicly traded company and it's still their 9 to 5, but it's pretty public knowledge
Mm-hmm.
where her bosses stand. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I think that's capping to say that. It's not one of those things
I would
where
hope,
yeah,
because
I think that's
that's why
common sense to know.
that's why I put that in our hot take community chat on Facebook the other day because you have people. I don't know. I'm not gonna say they know, but I'm gonna. That's why I put it there because I say, well, maybe the people aren't privy to this, but I'm pretty sure like the snarky fans and the true blue fans, we definitely know, like you said, what side of the coin WWE leadership stands on in terms of politics. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say, well, let's finish the Gunther talk first, and then we can get into
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm in agreement with you. I think Nakamura, Rey Mysterio, and Sheamus are the three there that, and especially Sheamus, because the storyline, the story feud they've had over the past couple of years is already there. So it isn't too much they have to bring to the forefront in terms of that potential match. Now, he's had passings and dealings with Rey Mysterio, but not a full-on feud. You know what I'm saying? So that would be something new to incorporate and bring that. But I would think they would want to, if they were going to do a retirement match with Rey Mysterio, you leave that for him and Dominic. So enter Shinsuke, who I think May now in terms of like stateside fans, he's probably not as huge of a deal as the other people that Gunther has retired. But as far as to the Japanese wrestling fans and community, he's he's a legend. You know what I mean? He should be a legend here too. But I get it. If if you're not privy to what he's done before, you don't know how big of a contribution he's had. To the world of professional wrestling. So, I do think the Sheamus one makes the most sense. But if they don't go Sheamus, I could totally see a scenario where they go with Nakamura at WrestleMania. And depending on how they do Elimination Chamber, I don't know if you have Gunther participate in Elimination Chamber or not. But if there's some kind of way, somehow, some way, you have those two, or maybe Sheamus, or all three of them kind of in Elimination Chamber some kind of way, then the groundwork is being laid there for that potential match at WrestleMania as well.
Absolutely.
So moving back to the Ava thing, that's what I was trying to find. So I was thinking the other day, man, of the criticism and how loud it's gotten for Paul Levesque, also known as Triple H, in recent months, and especially I'd say I'd say last year it like got to another height, another level. But I put this out there, and it's just my particular opinion about it. Why people are so adamant and showing a lack of faith and respect for Triple H as of late, and it's because of Triple H's participation in President Trump's Council of Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, and he's also supposed to be helping them with bringing back the presidential fitness test. So there's a council that has Executive Director Catherine Granito, Chair Bryson DeChambro, Saquon Barkley, Gary Bettman, Nick Bosa, Harrison Gutter, Cody Campbell, Roger Goodell, Wayne Gretzky, Nelly Corda, Paul Triple H Levesque, Jack Nicholas, and so many more. Tony Romo is also included in this list of people that are going to be contributing to this council. And I think by this being public knowledge out there and just people's displeasure with the Trump administration as a whole, not necessarily even knowing that Vince McMahon's ex-wife has been a part of that administration both terms. She was a part of it the first term, and now she's currently a part of it in his second term. So I really feel like a lot of people are holding that against Triple H as opposed to what's truly taking place in ring and just being extra critical just to be critical, because of what endeavors he's taking place in outside of the ring. So fast forward to the Ava departure from WWE, and I think what the rumor that I saw, at least, I don't know for sure, but they said she made a comment on social media about ICE and all of the stuff that's been going on in Minnesota in regards to ICE. And shortly therein, it led to her resignation because, as we know, and as I just said, the Trump administration is bedfellows with the McMahons and the McMahon's family. And this is no secret. Trump's been a part of WrestleMania. He's made appearance on WWE television before. So they have a storied history as far as the friendship of the families. You know what I'm saying? So
the fact that he's not even scrubbed from the Hall of Fame should be enough of a reason if people really want to take that stance. I'm just saying, if you look at the stuff that man has done or said, the fact that they still have him as a member of the Hall of Fame, because Mick Foley took that stance kind of in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was just hoping that, with the new ownership that they would, they wouldn't turn a blind eye to it because, obviously VKM was heading that charge at the time. So maybe, how tight he is with them. I don't know. I think it's one of those things when you get hired by, a regular 9 to 5, you don't necessarily know, unless you find them posting something, you don't know how one's boss feels when you get hired. Or when one gets hired on a regular 9 to 5. But like I said, it's kind of public knowledge. So I can't look at somebody taking that stance when they knew who they were getting in bed with in the first place. That's how I look at it. I'm not saying that I agree with their political beliefs or any stretch, but You kind of got to know at that point. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know, she's young enough and she's fortunate enough to have a father by the name of Dwayne Johnson. So
Yeah,
I'm sure that she'll be fine. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely.
You know, by no stretch of the imagination do I think she's going to go and fall flat on her face. It's not in the cards, so to speak.
No,
But you
it's not
know,
written. It's not written in the stars like astrology.
that part. But wanting to and actually standing on morals and saying, hey, you know what, this doesn't align with me, I'm going to go ahead and depart. That's fine as well, and kudos to you if that's what you know what's in your heart and what you really want to do. You know,
No, for sure.
Same with Mick Foley. Mick Foley made his stance, and the only difference here is that Mick Foley wasn't on WWE television like Ava was. You know what I'm saying? Ava's been, you know, on TV as the NXT GM for several years.
Right. No.
You know, so that was the main difference there. You know, she's taking a leap of faith, you know, versus Mick's, you know, a made guy at this point. You know what I mean? So him saying, hey, look, I'm not going to make no appearances. I'm not going to have anything to do with WWE television. You know, hey, he's made his money. I'm sure he'll sign his Legends contract and, you know, he'll still get residuals if they're going to still make merchandise and stuff. But again, he's a made man. So even if they don't, there's pro wrestling tees and other venues that I'm pretty sure will gladly, you know, serve as a place to come and buy Mick Foley merchandise. You know what I'm saying?
Bang bang.
There you have it. But speaking of NXT, if you got a retort, go ahead.
No, that was about it. Actually, no. I don't have
Okay. Because I wanted to bring up NXT right quick because they got a new NXT champion down there, and his name is Joe Hendry. So
say his name. He appears.
Yeah, he definitely appeared. He appeared and won that championship, man. This is I've been waiting to see how TNA was going to benefit from what had been taking place. As far as this collaboration, this partnership with WWE and WWE being allowed on WWE television, you know, another facet to promote their brand and bring awareness to the brand. It's obviously helped tremendously because now AEW can be seen on AMC, which is a much bigger channel and a much more available channel than the prior channel they were on, Access TV. And the product has been pretty good, man. I know you saw KG in our group chat, our group text. I compared current day TNA to NXT Black and Gold, like the days of the Black and Gold brand. And it's really been solid. I've been trying my best to make sure that I watch all of these shows. It's so much to watch, but given that we do a wrestling podcast, I want to try to make sure that, you know, when we sit here and we talk wrestling, we're giving everybody as much as possible, you know, as far as up to date what's going on.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna run through the results of NXT really quickly. NXT Women's North American Champion Izzy Dane defeated Thea Hale and Lola Vice in a triple threat match. Let's see. LaFleur defeated Charlie Dempsey in a speed tournament match. TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, the Elegance brand, defeated Zaruka. Looked like they teasing a breakup there with so
Yeah.
Sorry. Lexis King and Stax defeated Chase U. JC Jane called out Sol Ruka after the Royal Rumble and their interaction during the Royal Rumble. Look like they're getting ready to push Sol Ruka to the moon right now. So, and she's definitely deserving of it. As KG said, she has quite a finisher that definitely catches the eye, and you know, she's not a bad looker herself. And of course, as I said, Joe Hendry won the vacant NXT championship in a NXT championship ladder match, excuse me. So now we finally see the payoff. We've seen some NXT guys have championship matches over in NXT and vice versa. We saw Trick Williams before he made his departure from NXT into SmackDown hold the TNA championship. So we're starting to kind of see now, you know, more and more TNA talent that are actually starting to go over as well, and not just, you know, having these glorified, you know, appearances where they're actually able to have matches and win a couple of them too. So,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, which was brings it, and we're gonna, we'll move out of the heated round table. We're gonna kind of get to AJ in a second. But when we made our picks last week for the Royal Rumble, and I know I definitely didn't see it. I know I don't think you saw it either, or we maybe just didn't want to admit it. But with AJ, I definitely thought we were going to get to see him down on TNA, maybe even NXT as well as a result. After that match, just to kind of see him pop back up there, get some promo work there. He was on the first episode on AMC, first segment. And I was looking forward to him. Maybe Mike Santana, TNA champion, actually said it as well, that he definitely wanted to face AJ Styles for that championship again. But as we know, there's still a lot of time left in 2026. I think the quote-unquote retirement is just the retirement from WWE. They obviously allowed and let go of AJ's trademark and his P1 logo for him to be able to procure it and do whatever he's going to do with it, be it a podcast, be it making some appearances, on other shows, maybe even a brief run somewhere here, there, everywhere, maybe some retirement matches and shows in New Japan, maybe even in AEW. Like, KG, what do you think may be next for AJ Styles now that he's seemingly done with WWE in terms of in-ring? And is he someone who you see as maybe a first ballot, like 2026 WWE Hall of Fame class participant?
If he's a man of his word, AJ's done. That's what he said when he signed. He said he was done with wrestling after his contract that he signed was up. So if he's a man of his word, I don't expect him to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. But that being said, I also kind of find it difficult to believe he won't be anywhere. So definitely I can see him making a short run maybe in AEW because Samoa Joe is still there, one of his all-time rivals. So he might want to go out one more time against him. He's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer because he's a Grand Slam champion. Even though I joked on like everybody reaches that plateau to a degree. Mm-hmm. If they've touched the World Championship, there's still some people that haven't. Definitely a run in New Japan, possibly. New Japan, maybe not though. Because a lot of his the people that he probably went up against are either in other promotions or, in the case of Tanahashi, they retired. I'm pretty sure they crossed paths when he was in New Japan, but like he was like their John Cena. No, actually, I would say Okada was like their John Cena. Tanahashi was like their Hogan before the scandal. Not in terms of wrestling. Yeah, I know Tanahashi's way better wrestling wise. Don't nobody come over and see this and talking about in terms of what he meant to the company history. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the guys are gone now from New Japan, so he'd be more likely to show up in AEW or TNA to get a short run, due to the fact that Christopher Daniels is his best friend. He's over in AEW, so you might want to wrestle him one more time. So there's that. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I can see for him.
Yeah. Because that's why, and I know when we talked about it last week, I kind of likened it to maybe a possible scenario like we saw with Ric Flair when he had that retirement match against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. He retired from WWE, but
yeah,
clause was in effect after the 90 days. We saw him pop back up in TNA, where he dabbled in being a manager for a bit, and I think he even had another match there against
Jay Lethal.
Or was it Jay Lethal?
Oh, no. His last match, I think, was against Hogan. Because people talk like it got such really bad reviews. Mm. Yeah, I think it was like worst match of the year or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, which then carried on into him being kind of like a manager of sorts, or kind of not a ballet manager. He did a stint over there in AEW, and he had that last match. Since then, I don't think I've seen him in a ring, but he had that match, I think, against Andrade, and he did that independent promotion that he did it basically.
Yeah, I think they did like a 6-man. That was like FTR and whatever against. I think that's what it was. I think it was like FTR and was it Steamboat
Mhm.
against Ric Flair? I think Jay Lethal and Andrade. I think that's what it was.
Something like that. Yeah. So that's why for me I thought, hey, we may be heading into that territory with AJ, where now WWE is like, all right, hey, you know what? You've done your commitment here. Now you have the chance to go around the world and kind of do like a full on, retirement tour, because the difference with him and a John Cena's wrestling home was one place the entire time. He didn't go to AEW, he didn't go to WCW, he didn't go here, there, everywhere. His home was WWE. So yeah, his retirement tour just taking place within WWE makes complete sense. But for somebody like AJ, of AJ's stature, and AEW, for example, having Ring of Honor there, and still having guys like you said, a Samoa Joe, who got a storied past with AJ, that you could kind of, build up a match or two between them if they chose to.
The Young Bucks still made
You know
it.
what I mean? The Young Bucks, exactly. Guys from the Bullet Club that he's got history with. You got so many of those people over there. As Booker T would say, it's a lot of meat left on the bone. You know what I mean? So, that's why I just kind of say, and I'm not gonna be, I'm gonna be completely honest here. I wouldn't be mad at it if he did that. Like, I think he would be well within his right to actually, do that if he wanted to. I know how you just alluded to it. He said, hey, once my contract here is done, I'm done. It could be that too. Maybe he becomes an agent of WWE or wherever, and that's it, or a coach, and he spends the rest of his days in that type of capacity. Who knows? That's to be seen. But I just kind of feel like we might be in one of those spaces where it may be a scenario where we maybe see him, and even within popping up in these places, that who's to say he still can't pop up here, there, and just kind of just say his goodbyes to those fans. You know what I mean? He doesn't necessarily have to wrestle.
Well, they thought they were getting that in Philly on Monday, so that was hilarious.
Hey,
he had the whole thing too. He did the
whole yeah. Hey, he is good at trolling people, bro. Like, I get him. It's like he's textbook in the ring, old school heel, right?
Yeah.
But he's bringing this extra like facet there, and they're allowing him. I don't think they coaching him on that. I think that's all him. He's just doing it on his own, like naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and then the Rey Mysterio thing you said makes sense too. Even though we think it could be, it makes the most sense to be Dom, but he did just choke out Dragon Lee, and Ray did dub that man as the future Lucha Libre. So there is a setup right there potentially, maybe at the Elimination Chamber. So that might not even be a Mania because as much of a legend as Ray is, who's to say he has to go out at Mania? I'm sure they would give that to him if he asked for it. But I just think they have an even bigger plan for Gunther, which i.e. like a Chris Jericho, or maybe I don't know. It would be a career killer. Probably just brought him out of the storylines for a little while again. Randy Orton.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll retire, but we'll definitely see. I don't think it'll be that abrupt. And if it is, hey, Randy's earned it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I just see. Here's the thing with Randy, right? Randy's still young enough to maybe eclipse John Cena's title run. John Cena hit 17, right?
Yeah.
Randy still has a lot to go. I think Randy could go for another 5 years, honestly, if he wanted to. Maybe it might be a stretch to say 10. But I definitely think, he could.
I think he said his goal. I think he said his goal was 50. He's 45 right now, if my math is correct.
Okay.
He'll be 46 in a few months, I think, give or take. Because he was the youngest he was 24 when he won the title, because they say he was the youngest world champion in history. And that was 2004. So yeah, and that was the summer of 2004 because we beat Chris Benoit at SummerSlam. So that means at most he'd be 46 this year.
Okay. So yeah, it's plenty of time for us to get to him touching the title a couple of times, or two, maybe once this year.
I think he'll get
next year.
I think he'll get to 15 just that
What
way he surpasses his mentor, so to speak.
he's at 15 right now, isn't he?
No,
I
he's
thought
at
he was 15
14.
already. Oh, okay.
Because he even said 15 on they even said it too. They said it would put him third. It would break his tie with Triple H for third, and that's the point I'm getting at.
Mhm.
You quote unquote surpass his mentor from Evolution.
And I think he'll totally do that. I think he'll totally get to 15. When, I'm not sure of, but I definitely think it's in the cards for Randy Orton. Like, it'll definitely happen.
Absolutely. And one other thing I missed out on, because Rumble just it came off well. Just some things went over my head.
Mhm.
Royce Keys. How you feel about the name Royce Keys?
So they said, okay, he's referring to Powerhouse Hobbs. Y'all who don't know, surprise, surprise. Powerhouse Hobbs, formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs, now known as Royce Keys, is in the
That sounds
WWE
terrible.
debut in the Royal Rumble. So they said the name is a mashup of his youngest son's name, and I think his mother's last name or something like that. I might be butchering it, so let me try to find it real quick because it is something I posted, or maybe one of the other guys posted in the Hot Take community chat room. So people, if you're on Facebook, if you guys want to join the Hot Take community chat, you're definitely welcome to. Just go to groups and search Hot Take community chat and hit that button, man, and we'll voila, you'll be a part of our growing community. So by the way, we definitely didn't say this at the top of the show. Happy Black History Month. Wakanda forever. So wow, let me see. I'm trying to find that real quick, KG, so we can continue.
Yeah. The name itself doesn't sound terrible, though. It just kind of threw me off because they put the graphic Powerhouse Hobbs up the first. Oh, cool. They let him keep his name. And
which I wasn't necessarily a fan of it either at first. They're changing his name. I'm like, I would like to see some of these people be able to continue to use their name. Obviously, like we saw CM Punk, he's gone everywhere as CM Punk. Samoa Joe, same deal. You know what I mean?
AJ
Drew
Styles.
Holloway didn't do the same. AJ was able to do it though. Bobby Lashley. So we've seen a couple of people who've been able to do it. While I'm still searching, y'all, also I want to say congrats to Tommaso Ciampa. He's gotten his first singles title since being NXT champion over there in AEW. He's now the AEW TNT champion, KG.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So big shout out to my main man. Definitely gonna miss him. I'm still, man. I know we covered it last week. That's still one of those things where I'm just kind of like, y'all kind of missed the boat with this one. They definitely should have utilized him a lot more on SmackDown in the singles capacity. Hell, the same with what's my man name from DIY?
Johnny Gargano.
Johnny Gargano. Same deal with him. I wonder when his contract, ends, if he's gonna leave as well. That's something I've been going back and forth in my head over as well. Let me see. So let's do this since I can't find it in the group. Meaning, I'm gonna go on good old Google. Meaning behind Royce Keys' name. Okay, the name Royce Keys, adopted by former AEW wrestler Will Hobbs upon joining WWE, is a personal sentimental choice. Royce is the name of his youngest son, while Keys is the maiden name of his late mother. So there you have it. That's what it. I was on top. I was on point. So that's where he came up with the name. I'm going to call him the New Almighty. Because that's what I'm going to look forward to, him being the New Almighty. I'm looking forward to him versus Oba. Oh, man, that's going to be, you talking about a slobber knocker. Yeah, that's going to be something nice right there. I hope they push him, you know what I'm saying? And I hope he does well in WWE. He was kind of finding his footing in AEW toward the end of his run there. He was part of the Ops. Was that the name of the group? Samoa Joe's group there?
Yeah.
There. And, he kind of went through the motions. I think he had an injury, had him sidelined for a bit too. But I'm looking forward to him, man. I really enjoy Powerhouse Hobbs and the intensity he brings to that character. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does now as Royce Keys. Last but not least, KG, I know you're not necessarily a gamer like that, but what do you think about CM Punk getting the WWE 2K26 cover?
I was a little surprised. I thought they were probably going to go with, not that he hasn't earned it, but I thought they would have gone with possibly some new blood, maybe like a Jey Uso, or I think Seth's been on the cover, right, or no?
Yes.
Okay. I think that was an option. They could have went with Jey Uso because of how over he is, or he hasn't touched the. But it's usually somebody that's been to the mountaintop they put on there too. It's rare that they haven't put somebody that hasn't been to the mountaintop on the cover of the game. I was gonna say you could have went with LA Knight too, just how over he is with the fans.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm fine with Punk though too. This is one of those things where, because people thought he was gonna crash out again hit in WWE, and so far you heard nothing but great things about his return. So it's always a positive to behold that type of news.
Yeah. And all right, I lied. That wasn't last. This is truly it right here. So, as I said, we're on the road to WrestleMania. So now people are coming up with like potential matches that they think are going to actually happen at the Royal Rumble now. So, KG, I have it. It's in the community chat. I'm going to run through these, and I'm just going to go one by one in the order they're in the group, and you just tell me the likeliness of them. Obviously, this one is happening. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. So that one we don't have to go over. You alluded to it earlier in the show tonight. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu for the WWE title. How likely do you think that could be a possibility?
I think it's pretty much a guarantee at this point, unless something drastic happens.
Okay. I'm in agreement with that. I just want to see how they get to that because most of the time, Elimination Chamber is used to pick the. I guess Cody would use his rematch clause because he hasn't done that yet.
He said no. There is no rematch clause.
Was that part of the stipulations of the match?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, then that's gonna be interesting because I know Elimination Chamber is normally utilized to pick the next. Whoever wins that is picks whichever champion is left. Once the Royal Rumble winner has made their choice. So to make it a triple threat, that's what I'm wondering how that's gonna get to that. But especially now that the clause isn't there, so that's interesting. Okay. Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes for the U.S. title.
50%, because I think they want to get a Trick a bigger opponent.
Okay.
I think Trick's going to face Randy Orton, honestly.
Now that would be, it wouldn't get any bigger for his first WrestleMania and his first opponent at WrestleMania to be Randy Orton. Like, y'all definitely see something in them as far as star potential if you do that. But I wouldn't be mad at this either, though. Like, given the history that they have, obviously they were tag team partners down in NXT. They broke up in NXT leading up to Carmelo's call-up. So, we'll see. We obviously know this one is happening as well, or at least it seems as if it's happening. Liv all but said it. Stephanie Vakura versus Liv Morgan for the women's world title.
I think that's pretty much lock.
Yeah. Mask versus Mask. El Grande versus El Grande.
100%.
All right. Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton for the women's SmackDown world title.
50. I'm still holding out hope Bianca comes back. I think that's still what their plan is.
I'm there with you.
Although there is no one else on SmackDown right now, unless they're gonna have.
Did she have the match? Did she have the match against Jordan Grace already?
No, but that's another rumor you're going to come across. They said it's supposed to be her versus Julia for the U.S. title. I think that's actually a
Yeah,
more likely scenario for Jordan Grace. She can still have a match against Jade Cargill built going into WrestleMania, but I think her WrestleMania opponent will be like a Julia.
yeah, that is on this lineup too. That particular match, so I don't have to bring that up.
Yeah.
Julie, Jordan Grace for U.S. title. Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi, 1-on-1 match.
Well, I was wrong. I thought Brock was gonna end up facing Punk somehow. If that's not the case, then yeah, I think that's pretty likely because if you look around WWE, everybody else has something to do type of thing. It seems like as you went through this card, so one of those things. So you're elevating another former NXT champion, so I'm down for that. I think it's a 75% chance that happens.
Okay. I'm gonna go 80% because I do think this is probably the way they're gonna go. They got him doing squash matches already. He squashed the Viking Raiders on Monday. Yeah.
The Viking experience.
Is that what it's going? They going by now?
No, remember that's when they try to do that and they changed
Oh
it back
yeah.
to the War Raiders or whatever.
Gotta love Vince. You gotta love Vince. Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee for the IC title.
100%, unless like there's an injury or something.
Okay, I'm in agreement there. Dominic versus Finn Balor for the IC title.
100% once again because it's like they're teasing Finn leaving Judgment Day / he keeps doing things. Dom's doing things that they keep basically they're in each other's way. They both are trying to be the alpha males in Judgment Day.
Right.
Because at one point, Dom's going to the Los Americanos for help and Girl Grande Americano. And Finn said, we don't need any new members. But then Finn is over here recruiting Roxanne to be in Judgment Day. So,
yeah, that one seems like a shoe-in to me as well. Randy Orton versus Gunther.
I have to say 50, though, because I did just say I think Randy was supposed to face. I think Gunther's going to face Chris Jericho. So 50-50, though. Because if not him, it got to be a major opponent. So, yeah.
As far as Randy concerned, I'm going to say maybe 30%. Because I would much rather see, especially if you want to continue the whole career killer thing, you know what I'm saying? You go with maybe, and I guess that would kind of seem as a safe bet, but you just know you're going to have a great match with those guys. You go with Sheamus. I think he'll have a good match with a Shinsuke as well, or Rey Mysterio. The cards are kind of there for that kind of path for either one of those, but we just have to wait and see. And then last but certainly not least, Braun Breaker versus Seth freaking Rollins in a street fight.
Seth's healthy 100%, but I don't know if he's healthy because people are back to speculating who was under the mask at Royal Rumble. Because now WrestleMania is a little different. I heard there was no chance of him being in the Rumble. Mania, I heard there was like an outside chance type thing. But keep in mind, like I said, the person that attacked because once again, I'm pretty sure Taz was the one that attacked Punk in the cell. I don't think whoever
that
it was.
That was totally Taz. Like, they went with Austin Theory, but that was Taz in that ring. Like, I don't care what you say. But at the Rumble, that was Seth Rollins. Like, that was Seth Rollins.
People were saying that might have been Logan Paul. But they said you look underneath, it looked like the person had like a little bit of stubble, and it was like blonde facial hair. So there were villains.
That's why I said the thing about Taz. Like, yeah, it could have been Logan doing the actual hooded man thing, but when the reveal comes out, Seth freaking Rollins. You know
the reveal will be Seth Rollins for sure.
Yeah.
But it just depends if he's healthy. If he's healthy, then that's a sign to me that he is healthy, because who else would it be like? I'm trying to think who else would have beef. Well, obviously, LA Knight got beef, but LA Knight already back. Unless you did it to screw with their head. Unless that was LA Knight under there and he was screwing with them just to mess with the vision what do you call it? Plays cracks from within.
Mm-hmm.
Could be LA Knight.
Could be that. Could be that. Yep. But yeah, man. So that's all I got for this week, man. Next week, I know you said AEW has a pay-per-view taking place.
I think it's like they treat it as a pay-per-view, but I think AEW Grand Slam Australia, I think it's next Saturday. I think.
Yeah, they definitely said it as the graphic. They showed a graphic for it as it was getting ready.
Okay.
About Grand Slam. So that's what we'll be talking about next week, y'all. We'll be making picks for Grand Slam AEW because we show love to all of the feds. We didn't get the TNA this week, but I'll make sure we get some TNA talk in next week on the Hot Take Wrestling podcast. Okay.
Only love HT.
You guys make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tune in. Listen to Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. We are now on DSPs. We are back on audio. Took a while. Apologies. That was on me. But you can now hear us on the smooth sounds of Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I believe we're on iHeartRadio as well. I have to check, make sure that's still all in the pipeline. But yeah, so if you don't have the chance to watch it on either of the streaming platforms, we stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter or X, and Kick. So if you don't get to watch it there, you'll be able to finally listen to it as well. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram at HTWP_HTAD. That is the new page. I'll make sure I get a graphic up with all of our Instagram and social media tags so you guys can follow us on that. But yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and call it an episode for tonight. KG, any other last thoughts, man, before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'm just really glad that Paul Levesque has made one of his Attitude Era peers and Rikishi a part of WWE Creative, considering the fact that all three of his sons have championships right now.
And all three are tag team champions right now. That is kind of cool.
AEW has Double J, they have Triple J, because all of them start with J's too, though. Their real names.
It's kind of late in the pod, but I was going to say Rikishi kind of seems like a piece of trash too, so. I digress. Hey, Samoans that watch the show, I rock with y'all, but y'all know he did Naomi wrong. Y'all know. But all right, man, we're gonna keep it classy. We're gonna get up out of here. And this is Hot Take Wrestling. Hot Take After Dark is up next at 10:30. So y'all make sure y'all watch that. Tune in. For me and KG, always remember Wednesdays.
Shout out AJ.
Yes, sir. Stay phenomenal. That's how we're going. I think that's how we're going to start ending the KG.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Stay phenomenal, people. All right, we out of here, y'all.
Bust the rhymes, 2000. We got the fire now. Come on. Hey, come on. Hey, whether it's from over, unless you best believe. Bust the rhymes, more flavor than all the rest. Before the mess, hardcoreness, before the stress. Got to get this flawless flow above my chest. Who's responsible for the impossible flow? Anything in the world that ain't toppable. So I make you anticipate great type shit.